Hey, Mr. Taylor. This is my project on Syngnathiformes. And I'm filming this from my phone, so it's not going to be the best quality. And I promise this time I won't have my hand over the microphone. The kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. Class is Actinopterygii. I totally butchered that name. Order is Syngnathiform. Family is Syngnathidae. And genus is Hippocampus. Okay, so what we usually refer to Syngnathiformes, the common name is seahorses, or also pipefish, and pipefish is basically a straight-bodied seahorse. That's the anatomy of a seahorse. And that's another picture of the anatomy of a seahorse. It's a much easier and clearer picture. What do they eat? Syngnathiformes mainly eat crustaceans and mycetes shrimp. And that's a picture of what a seahorse looks like. And how do they produce? So basically, seahorses can have up to 1,500 eggs or babies, and the female seahorse puts the eggs into the male's pouch. And a male seahorse has a pouch that's on the front side of the seahorse. And once the eggs are put into the pouch, the eggs are fertilized inside that pouch. And the male seahorse carries the eggs from anywhere around 2 to 6 weeks, and then the baby seahorses are then released into the water. And that's a picture of a male seahorse that has the pouch and the seahorse, or the eggs, inside of the pouch. That's an actual picture of the eggs inside of the pouch right now. And the pouch is right there. Where do they live? They live in warm, shallow bodies of water, like tropical bodies of water, stuff like that. And they have predators. So their predators are crabs, rays, and tuna. And in order to hide from their predators, they use camouflage. But their predators aren't really a huge threat. So their biggest predator is humans. And why? Because, humans use the seahorses for, medicine purposes and souvenir purposes and stuff like that. And I'm sure you've seen, little souvenir seahorse. And so that's why humans are their biggest predator. And here's a video. If it'll load.
Seahorses are the world's most magical fishes. They've done more to rearrange the body plan of a fish than any other fish that's ever lived. They've turned their head at a right angle to their body and turned their body from swimming horizontally to swimming vertically. They dropped their tail as a way to move forward and turned it into a tail like a monkey. They have independently moving eyes like a chameleon. And they're the only group of animals in the entire animal kingdom that has true male pregnancy. We don't know how many species of seahorses there are. The estimates are somewhere between 30 and 120. They camouflage as their form of defense, so they look really different in different habitats. Only by using comparative DNA sequences can we find out which species group together by similar sequences. Seahorses are hard to find as a source of food, so they don't have a heavy predation in the natural world. Their biggest predator is man. Seahorses are highly sought after in many different remedies. You can find them ground up in powders, you can find them floating in bottles of wine. With the massive economic boom in China, we now have hundreds of millions of people that have entered the middle class and can now afford these remedies. And we're seeing, at the same time, declines in seahorse populations that are quite dramatic all around the world, everywhere we look. The vast majority of seahorses that are harvested for this trade come as bycatch from fisheries. And where they used to be thrown back into the water alive, they're now taken out on the docks and dried, and all major fisheries that use bottom trawling, where they're dragging nets along the bottom, pull up tons of seahorses as they do that. And those seahorse species end up being dried and then shipped. For an example, this is a bag of about at least 1,000 seahorses that was confiscated as an illegal shipment through San Francisco airport. So the Fish and Wildlife Service came and gave this to us and asked us if we could help them identify what this massive mortality here, this massive pile of seahorses, what species it was. It's important to recognize that all species of seahorses are internationally protected under the world's Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. So all countries have signed up to say, we will not harvest seahorses if it is harmful to their natural populations, but no one's enforcing it. And so we're trying to help enforce those regulations by identifying which species, and in some cases, which geographic areas they're being harvested from. I've dove all over the world looking for seahorses everywhere, and I've found a lot of them, and I have never, ever seen these kinds of density